Alright. I'm gonna shoot something here. I know I shoot on Fridays, but technically I know it's Monday. Fuel updates. Obviously, I'm in a room right now. I'm trying to get Alice back as best as I can. Sold my car. It started having major issues toward the end of it. So one of the major issues was that the fuel pump was shot on it when I purchased it from the guy. I didn't even know it was shot on it till weeks later. And then I realized, I'm like, holy shit, this goddamn fuel pump is shot. Like, I pull off from the gas station, I put like a gallon, and so it'd get me up to like 70, 80 miles, okay? I pull off from the I pull off from the gas station, I'd be at 80, possibly even like 81, 82. Pull off from the fuel station, or from the gas station, I'd go from 80 down to like 75, just pulling out of the gas station. And I go from 75 down to 70, and I go from 70 down to 69. And that was in less than a half a mile from the gas station. So it's like, okay, no problem. I knew that was a major issue. Got a quote to fix the fuel pump for $750. That included parts and labor. Well, the coolant hose broke the one day when I was on my way to Belvedere. Got this puff of white smoke, couldn't figure out. All of a sudden, didn't see anything wrong, didn't notice until all of a sudden, one day the car overheated. It's like, that's kind of interesting. And I had to put coolant in it. Then I realized the hose had exploded. So, that was another issue. So I MacGyvered it as best as I could. Well, then I want to say Wednesday last week, I was doing DoorDash. I just got the car back up on the road on Monday. Tuesday was perfectly fine. Wednesday, there was a breach between the seal to the coolant tank and the hose from the engine to the coolant tank. The hose, however it is. Y'all know what I'm talking about if you know cars. Try to describe it as best possible, but I guess I don't do it that well. Anyway, so there was a breach there to the point of where I noticed there was oil in my coolant tank. I put water in it, worked for about 5 minutes, started overheating again. So I stopped at Dollar General eventually and picked up coolant. I had to put coolant in every mile and a half on the car. I'd get down the road and then, boom. Get back down the road again, boom. And it's just like, it was a pain in my butt. So I was like, okay, I put coolant in it, and I would say probably less by a half hour, 45 minutes with the coolant. And then I started putting water in it, and I had to put ice cold water or soda pop in it just to actually get it. And I know pop isn't good, but it's sticky like coolant. That's why I was putting it in there. So eventually I realized it's not it wasn't doing good, to the point of where I would actually fill up at the truck stops. I'd take a shower, I'd fill up 6 to 8 bottles of water. I'd be done with those 6 to 8 bottles of water within the first hour after I started driving it. And sometimes I wouldn't even get the full hour, I'd only get a half hour. And it was done. And then the throttle body started going out. And when I heard the throttle body rattle, I knew I would have to start pulling over soon. And literally, where I'm staying at, there's a friend of mine who lives a few doors down from me right now. So I was driving here. I started driving at like 8 in the morning. I didn't get out here till 11. 3 hours for a 28-minute drive. 3 hours. 28 minutes from door to door. Should have taken me. Got out here at 11. And he's like, I guess you're not coming. I'm like, no, I'm on my way. I promise I'm on my way. I said, just keep an eye on my Snapchat. It tells you my location. It'll tell you my location. It'll tell you where I'm stopped. I said, just keep your eye on my Snapchat, because I keep my live location on at all times with that. Because if there is an issue and I'm stuck somewhere, I tell people, just check my Snapchat. If you have me on Snapchat, check my Snapchat. It'll tell you specifically where I'm at. So I eventually did get out here. I sold the car. I was trying to sell it for $1,000. I sold it for $800. kind of glad my friend was here because, damn, I didn't speak a lick of Spanish, and this guy literally made the deal with my friend versus me, the owner of the car. Me, the woman. And I told him, I said, hey, come on, because I said to him, I said, hey, can you come out here? I said, I don't think they understand anything I'm saying. He's like, yeah, I'll help you out. So he went out there and talked to them. Because he's willing to give you $800. I'm like, I'll take anything at this point. I'm just trying to get rid of the car. I didn't even want it anymore because of all the issues it had on it. And I listed it. I said, it needs a new coolant hose. It needs a new coolant tank. Just enlisted it and preached the oil and preached the coolant tank. And he goes, can you pop the hood so I can see the engine? I said, yeah. I popped the hood because I have to let it sit for hours on end to even have it not start acting up. So I said, well, can I go test drive it? I'm like, yeah. Go ahead, test drive it. Took me an hour to clean it out. So I'm like, well, at least let it rest it for an hour. So at least he probably could get a little further down the road before it started dinging and everything like that. And that was after he did the test drive. So with it sitting, because I got here about 11, my friend and I, did a couple things. We talked, relaxed for a few. And then I sent him a message about 3:30. I said, hey, here's the address. I said, I'm done doing what I need to do. He goes, well, can I come meet you? I'm like, yeah, that's perfectly fine. The sooner I can get it done, the better. So once I got everything done, my friend's like, hey, why don't you rent a room here? It'll be about $280. Said, okay. I handed him took $300. I handed him my ID and the cash. I said, here you go. And he handed it to the guy who runs the place here. And as I'm clearing out the car, he came over, handed me my change, and then he handed me my ID and everything back. I said, you know me? He said, no, you don't sign for me everything. The Roach Motel, 100%. But I'm used to it from Galveston, Texas. I'm like, damn, but they weren't as prevalent. Like, if I was gone for a few days, and they became more active because I wasn't there. Somebody's here, they're not as active, so I'm good. Like, I've already killed like 4 or 5 of them, but nothing major. And because I try to keep the door open, try to keep the window open, try to keep light going, so that way they see that somebody's here and it's active, so they don't show up that much. So currently I have no car. Currently staying at a hotel. I've got a week. I'm debating because I went and did grocery shopping today. Put the money on one of my cards, did the grocery shopping. Still waiting on this place to send me this application to fill out so I can legitimately start working hopefully next week. But I gotta also figure out a way to get a car to get to Sycamore, because I can't pay for Uber and Lyft all the fucking time. That ain't gonna happen. So if anybody has an extra car that they're willing to part with, I don't care at this point in time. I just need it to work decently. I have plates that I can put on the car. I will make payments to you to take the car at this point in time. I just need a car to be able to get to and from work, because I've already got another job lined up here. And I gotta pay to stay at this hotel. So you probably won't get a payment till I get my first check between paying for the hotel and paying for the car. I need something. I'm at the point of desperation again, where I need something that's gonna get me from to and from. This car was neglected for years. It's a Chevy, so it's picky. And I knew right away after I got into it, I'm like, I'm burned out on those. I'm burned out on GM vehicles at this point. I realized I had the air conditioning on because I was cleaning, got my room cleaned up, got some stuff straightened up. But yeah. But I'm desperate for a car at this point. Y'all let me know what you got. Help me out. I've got a job lined up. I just need to be able to get to it now again. Like, I can't take this. I can't do DoorDash, and I'll do DoorDash on the weekends to pay for the car on my days off. I can use that. I can transfer the money from my one account to my Chime account. And then, actually, I'll probably set a lot of stuff up to go into my checking account once I get a check and get my debit card from my ex-husband, who has yet to contact me to let me know to come get my mail. I meant to tell him, hey, you're going to meet me here. I can't meet you anywhere, because I told him I sold my house, which generally was my car. So anyway, there's a lot going on with me, and I feel the depression starting to set in, and I'm trying to like listen to music to help try to clear it out. Like I said, I had to do grocery shopping today, so I do have food. My friend, I said to him, I said, hey, I said, you hungry at all? I said, dinner's at me tonight. He goes, yeah, cool. So we ended up ordering like 3 pizzas. I ordered some crazy puffs for myself, and they ended up being pepperoni. I'm like, told him, I said, I don't eat a lot of pork. So here you go. So somebody ended up getting that. I ordered crazy bread, and then I ordered a cheese pizza, which I still have a whole cheese pizza sitting in my fridge, because I was munching throughout the day. But I got cookies, I got snacks, I got what I need, and he had asked him yesterday because I said I knew he was going to go grocery shop. I said, hey, can you do me a favor, pick up like some chips and some pop for me? I said, Diet Pepsi, like 12-pack, like, just 12-pack of pop. And he goes, oh, I picked up chips for you. He goes, did you get them? I said, yeah, I already purchased them for myself. I said, so we're good. I told him to keep them. I got lunch meat, I got bread, wheat bread, I got mayonnaise, I got cheese, so I got what I need. I'm good here for a while. So hopefully I might just see if I can actually pay for next week in a couple days here. Just say, hey, can you extend me out from Saturday to next Friday? However, I don't know, but I gotta figure out something, and then I gotta figure out a way to make money so I can stay here, because I can't. I have no car. I have nothing to live in. I legitimately will be fucking homeless. The only thing I could do is apply for an apartment. I've got the application started. I said to submit it. It'd be $45 to submit it if I can actually get the apartment this week, if they'll approve me and I can move in this weekend. But the place I work with, they won't be able to get anything until July 1st. So if I can move in next week and let him extend it for a couple days, then I live here for a few days after, up to the 1st, and then figure out how I can go about. I'll have to try to see if I can get somebody to help me move, or somebody can help me rent a moving truck so I can move all my stuff and get to the apartment, and then from there figure out how I will be getting to and from a job at that point, because I'll be in Rockford. So anyway, I'm gonna stop the video here. Yeah, y'all have a wonderful night, and I'll update you Friday with me and the boyfriend.